Hello and welcome, and thank you for joining us today. Once again, I am your host, Sterling McKinley, and this is brought to you by the good folks at the U.S. Black Chambers and also the good folks at Grow with Google. So, thank you once again for joining us here today for the webinar. Today, we have 1 hour, and we're going to talk about the new normal. And when I say the new normal, we're going to talk about how things have changed. I believe because the pandemic and technology, things have changed and your customers have changed. So tonight, we're going to talk about how your business can prepare for the new normal, the new tech savvy, digital savvy world, and how you can position yourself now and in the future to grow, excel, be more competitive, and most importantly, make more money. So I want to say once again, before we get started, this webinar is all about you. So feel free anytime through the webinar, if I'm talking or not, type in the chat box and let me know your comment, let me know your question. Because once again, this is all about you. I want to make sure that your Black owned business wins, that you know all the tricks, and tips to use Google and use the internet to get more business, for your business. All right, so let's get started. So as always, I check in to make sure you're still there with me. So if you're ready to get started and learn more about the new normal and how your business can make the shift to this new digital economy, type in "Let's go" in the comments box. Once again, if you're ready to find out how your business can make the shift to be more competitive in this new digital economy, type in "Let's go" and we'll get started. Once again, if you're ready to get started, type in "Let's go" and we will get started. And whoever comments first gets a free prize. Not really. I'm not giving any prizes, but once again, this webinar is all about you. So the more comments, the more questions you can ask or engage, it's even better. So once again, if you're ready to get started, type in "Let's go." William, I see you on LinkedIn. William says, "Let's go." Appreciate that. Anybody else want to chime in and type in "Let's go"? I'll wait. I'll give you a few more seconds. I'll give you some hold music. Let's see if this helps you. If you're ready to get started, type in "Let's go." All right, let's go. Let's get started. So tonight we're talking about a few things, and I don't want to overwhelm you, but I definitely want to give you an idea of what we're talking about. So first, we're going to talk about how your business can prepare for the new normal. I started off saying that, but I really want to give you like some tips and strategies to make sure that you can excel in this new digital economy. Next, we're going to talk about why it's so important to be found on Google. As you know, I would say Google, the first page of Google is the most valuable place of real estate in the world. The most valuable place you can be found is on Google. So we're going to talk about ways you can be found on Google and why it's so important to be found on Google. Next, we're going to do activity. We're going to do a search for your business, and we're going to see what comes up. And the whole point of this is, I think digital marketing in general business has to be about your customer. So on this activity, I want you to put on your hat of your customer, pretend you don't know anything about your company, and do a Google search and see what comes up. Also, to close out, we're going to do a recap. I'm going to give you some more final thoughts and resources. And to close it out, I'm going to give you an overview of the upcoming training. So let's go and let's get started. So to start off, this is a stat to me that is staggering. So last year was tough. COVID hit and it changed everything. And in 2020, 41% of Black owned businesses shut down and went out of business. I'll say that again, 41%. So a large majority of Black owned companies went out of business. And the chances are these companies were already struggling, already facing barriers. The chances of those companies coming back is slim to none. So my job, my goal, and also the goal of the U.S. Black Chambers is to give your business all the tools, all the resources, all support it needs to make sure you're stable both now and in the future. And one way tonight we're doing that is by talking about digital marketing. I believe digital marketing and Google is the most affordable, effective, and trackable way to market your business. And when we talk about businesses going out of business, there's a lot of reasons. It could be sales, it could be finance, it could be customers, location, price, whatever. But I think at the end of the day, it all comes down to marketing. Simply, enough people don't know about your business. So, to make sure your business is stable both now and in the future, the best way to do that is to fully embrace digital marketing, to fully embrace all the tools and services that Google offers. That way, your business is going to be seen by more customers. You can make more sales and also be more competitive. So, that's my mission. I really want to see every Black owned business win. And win, what I mean, just being more competitive. Using the tools that are going to help you get more customers and more sales for your business. Okay, let's get back to the presentation here. And I believe in many ways that COVID-19 has really accelerated the pace. So I think the pandemic, it really changed customers. So since we couldn't go in stores for a while and we still had to wear a mask and all this stuff, I think digital has become even more important. Even tonight, this is a virtual webinar. It could be in person, but it's virtual. And everything is moving that way. Everything is moving virtual and digital. And the truth is, things are never going to go back, are never going to be the way they once were. So your company has to embrace this new normal. So your company has to be digital savvy. It has to be savvy on social media. It has to be customer focused and driven and have great customer service, because I think in this pandemic, your customers have learned from companies like Google, Amazon, Starbucks, Netflix. This is all companies that are highly personal and are using technology to reach their customers. So once again, your customers are being trained. In many ways, your customers want your business to be like their cell phone. And what I mean when I say that, well, your cell phone is always on, it's always available. It's personal. It's about them. I can set my own alarms, notifications, and can take pictures, everything. So that's how your business has to be. Your business has to be on demand like this, because this is what your customers expect. They're being groomed to have things fast, on demand, instant. They want to hear back from your business right away. They want to be able to go online and type in your address and go to your website, go to your app, click a button and call your business, click a button and get directions to your business. So that's what your business has to be. You have to update the way you do business now, because your customers are demanding. Your customers are only dealing with companies that are technically savvy, that get it, that understand it. Um, so that's why you definitely want to make sure that you are updating your business and your marketing, because your customers are changing and you have to change with them. So I'm talking a lot. Let's check in again. Is this helpful to you? If this is helpful, type in 5. If this is not so great, type in 0. So once again, this is helpful, type in 5. If this is just okay, type in 0. So if you're enjoying this, type in 5. If you're not enjoying this, type in 0. And once again, this is me just checking in to make sure that you are still there and that you are benefiting from what I'm saying and covering. So once again, let me know how I'm doing. If I'm doing great, give me a 5. So give me a 0. So let's see what we got. Oh, okay, great. William says 5. Appreciate that. Derek says 5. Keon says 5. Appreciate that. I like 5s. All right, so let's move on. So I just said this, but I'll say it again, and I really want you to really absorb this. So your customers demand that your business is digital savvy. If not, they will find another business. So once again, customers are demanding that your business is digital savvy. If not, they will find another business. So what does that mean? Your customers are impatient. They're not gonna wait for your site to load. They're not gonna search for you every all the time. Simply, if a customer can't find you, guess what? They're hitting the back button. They're going back to Google search and they're finding a business that can offer them services. So once again, the companies now that are going to win now in the future are the companies that are digital savvy, are the companies that get it. So your business has to be that way. So I tell a story. When you're in the store shopping, let's say for groceries, every line is can be the same, but we go from line to line, trying to find the fastest line, and many times you end up saving 10, 20 seconds, but mentally you want to go to the line that's moving the fastest. It's the same thing online. People want to deal with a company that's fast, that's easy to do business with, that's has videos, pictures, that's on social media. Those are the companies that your customers are drawn to. So you definitely want to make sure that your company is one of those companies because once again, your customers are finicky. If they have to wait too long, if they have to search, scroll, and zoom and guess, they're gone. They're in the back button, going back to Google and finding a business that can help them. So I have a quote here, my quote, and it says, "Your digital presence is the new credit score." I'll say it again. Your digital presence is the new credit score. So, what does that mean to you? When I say your digital presence is a new credit score, once again, type in the chat box. And what does that mean to you? What do you think that means? That your digital presence is the new credit score. Let's pause for a second and just think about that. What do you think that means? That your digital presence is the new credit score. Once again, I'm gonna hear from you. What did that mean to you when I say your digital presence is the new credit score? Let's see who's gonna be first. All right, let's see. Um, it is what your clients will use to check us out. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Anybody else wanna chime in and let me know what does that mean to you that your digital presence, your credit score? Carl says, "Hey, Carl, I haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for oh, I'm not sure the same Carl. Well, thank you again anyway, Carl, for joining us tonight. Appreciate that." Carl says, "Can't have successful business without a digital presence." Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's a the days of word of mouth, the days of no website are gone. I mean, you have to have a digital presence in order with your customers. So I'm so happy that you said that. William says, "How and why? Forgive my ignorance." Okay, I'll tell you, William, but you're not ignorant. That's a good question. Derek says, "I don't have a digital presence. Credit is so it'd be harder for me to gain and maintain an honest following." Okay. Well, let me tell you what that means to me. So, similar to business credit. So, for example, my wife bought a car a few months ago and they checked her credit score. They looked at her payment history, how she uses her credit, her debt to income ratio. And based on that, she got a credit score. Okay. Luckily, the score was good. We got a good interest rate, but your customers are doing the same thing. So, when somebody tells you about a business, the first thing you do is don't call that business. What do? You do your homework. So you type in the company's name, you go to their website, you see how it looks. Guess what? If it's a crappy website, in your mind you're saying that's a bad company. If you go to their social media pages on LinkedIn or Twitter or Instagram, and you see they're posted once every 6 months, you say, they're not too serious. And are they even open? So the first impression that most people have is going to be online with your business. So if that first impression is a bad impression, the chances of that customer calling for service go way down. So that's why you want to make sure you have a good digital presence that when somebody searches for your name or your company, they're seeing results to say, hey, this person is an expert in their field. Let me take a chance and call them for service. And that's really important. I mean, the first step of getting to that customer is awareness and pulling them in. So once again, if you have a poor presence, the person equates a poor presence to a poor service. So I believe you probably have the greatest company in the world, whatever you do. But if your digital presence doesn't reflect that, people are going to judge you by your cover and say, you know what, that's probably not a business that I want to call, simply because your business did not look the part online. So you want to make sure that that presence is engaging, that's empowering, and that it makes somebody want to call your business and find out more. So I break it down right here more. And this says that a strong digital presence is trustworthy, authoritative, and most importantly, builds credibility. Now, I'll say it again, a strong digital presence. It makes you seem trustworthy, authoritative, and most importantly, credible. And what I mean by that, so it's simple. People are judging you of how you look online. So online is this place that's kind of scary. You don't know who's on outside that screen. So the more trust you can build with your client, your potential customer, the more they see you as a leader, as a resource, and they're going to call you. But if your digital presence is not building trust, it doesn't have a good presence, they're going to say, I don't trust that person. So the first thing, you want to get their attention. You want to have a good presence that pulls them in. And the first step in that is building that trust. And once they have that trust, then they're going to call you. So once again, the first step before they even call you, the email, they text you, they have to trust you. And having a digital presence is a great way to build that trust. Carl's a comment here. Carl says a good digital presence increases your SEO. Yeah, it does, and we'll talk more about that later. Actually, no, we'll talk about that now because that's a great comment. That's really what it's all about. You got it, Carl. It's all about being found on Google. When somebody types in your name on Google, what do they see? So I'm going to show you a search on Google. We're going to do this. We're going to type in my name, and this is not me bragging, but I spend a lot of time making sure that I have a strong digital presence. So I'm talking about a digital presence, what that is. Now I'm going to show you exactly what that is. So hold on one second. Okay, so let's type in my name, Sterling McKinley. And let's see what we see. So here you go. This is the first page of Google. So the first thing you see when you type in my name is what? My listing here on LinkedIn. Next, you see my website. You see me on Twitter. This is a conference I spoke at. You see me on Facebook, Instagram. You see all my pictures right here. And you also see my book that I wrote on Amazon and also my videos on YouTube. So that's what I mean by a strong digital presence. So when somebody, excuse me, types in the name of your company or your name, what are they seeing? And I was saying it's all about dominating Google. You want to dominate Google for your name and your company and like phrases and words. Why? Because when somebody types that in, that's your chance to wow them. That's your chance to pull them in. So if you can give them information overload, your website, social media, pictures and videos, they're gonna say, "Wow, that's the guy. That's the person I need to call." Why? Because they're out there. They seem to be expert in their field. I can use them for service. So let's get back to the presentation. We'll come back to this later. But that's what I mean by a strong digital presence. When somebody types in your name, what do they see? So if you go here to my LinkedIn profile, what do you see? You see me. You see me in a nice suit. I'm actually live right now on LinkedIn, so you see my my live video, which is pretty cool. But you see my profile filled out. If you go back, the next thing, my website, you click that, my website. It's impactful. There's pictures of me talking and video, so right away you can say, "Wow, that guy looks like he knows what he's doing." Now I want to call him. So that's what I mean by having a strong digital presence. And the strong digital presence means that you have a presence that's building trust, and it leads the customer down the line to call you or email you for the service. So let's get back to the slides. Hey, I'm doing a lot of talking here. Once again, I want to see how I'm doing. So, if you're on LinkedIn, if you're on Facebook, YouTube, do me a favor. If this is good to you, this is helping you, hit the like button for me one time. So, no matter where you're at, hit the like button. Let me know if you like this. Or if you want, type in like in the comment box. So, once again, hit the like button or type in like in the chat box if you're liking this. Because once again, this is all about you. I want to make sure that I'm saying things that are really helping you. So once again, hit the like button if this makes sense to you and you want to hear more. All right. So in this slide, I really want to break down what does it mean. What does it mean? Oh, thank you, Carl. Carl says like. Appreciate that. Also, be sure to hit that like button once again. But William says like. Appreciate that. This is what I mean by digital presence. So I've been talking about this for a few minutes now, but this is what I mean by digital presence. So first thing you can see here, you want to have a strong website. You want to have an impactful website. Why? Because that's the thing that's going to pull people in. I have a comment here. It says I like. I already see I need to fix my website. Okay. Site. So feel free to ask any questions about your website, but websites I'd say are never done. They're always being added to and updated. So you're not alone. But the first part of a strong digital presence, like we just said, is your website. Your website is your home. It's that place that you own. Social media you don't own. At any time, Facebook, LinkedIn, they could change the algorithm. They could shut down, and you lose all your fans and your followers. But your website, that's your home online. That's the place that you own. So that's your place to tell about your company, to tell your story. Why? Because you own that place. And many times, your website is going to be one of the first few links that pops up. So that means it'll probably get clicked on more. So you want to make sure it's a good experience. Because once again, if you have a crappy website, people equate that with having a crappy company, and they're not going to call you. Next is search. And Carl said it earlier, but search engine optimization, also known as SEO, is so important. I just showed you that. What happens when somebody goes to Google search and types in your name or your business? Now, the results they see, that is SEO. So, once again, you want to dominate Google for your name, for your business. So, when somebody types it in, they're seeing all those profiles. The next one is email marketing. Now, email, they can't really see unless you're sending them an email, but having email is a great way to communicate with your clients. And I have a circle here because all these things, what they're doing is they're assets that pull in customers to your business. That's why it's so important. The next one is huge, which you know, social media. So having a presence on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram is so important. And I always say, don't try to be on every network, but be on the ones that work for your niche. So don't spread yourself too thin trying to be on every network. Be on the ones that matter for your business. Because once again, when I do a search, I may do a search on Facebook. I may do a search on LinkedIn for your business. And if it pulls up and it's a page that has no fans, no followers, and no posts, I'm saying they probably don't care about their business, and I'm not going to call them. The next one is video. Video is so key. This webinar is a recorded video, and it's powerful. It's impactful. Why? Because you can see me and you hear me. Let me go full screen to say this, but I believe video is it's the strongest tool you have online to connect with your customers. Because once again, like I said earlier, online is this scary place. We don't know who we're talking to, but if we see a video of somebody talking, we trust them more. We say, hey, that person know what they're talking about. Hopefully that they like the way you look, they like your voice. But seeing somebody pulls people in. So Having video is so important. Video on your website talking, video on social media of you talking, video on YouTube of you talking about your business and your service is so huge because think about it, people are lazy. If you have two choices, read a page of text or watch a video, you're going to watch a video. And in a short 30-second, 45-second clip, you can summarize everything about your business versus having a page full of content. So video is so key. Let's see, William has a comment here. William says, people keep calling me from Google asking um, my info and want my credit card payment. This is a scam. Yeah, that's a scam. Google is not going to call you. Google, a lot of companies take advantage of that. They know that business owners want to be found on Google. So there are further companies out there that will call you and will try to get you to sign up for the service to get online. But the truth is, getting on Google is free. That's the thing about it. There's no cost to that. So all you have to do is create listings on Facebook, on YouTube, your website, and Google will list them for free. Now, if you're paying, if you have ads on Facebook, I mean on Google, there's a cost for that. But still, Facebook's never going to call you and ask you for your information. You can put that in online by yourself. So that is a scam. But what they're doing, they're feeding on the fact that people know that being found on Google is so important. So you definitely want to do it yourself. Also, be sure to set up a page on Google My Business. Google My Business is a free directory that comes up, and it's a great way to get your business found. Let me show you a sample of what I mean real quick. Google My Business is a great way to get found, and also free. It's no cost for it. So we go back here to my name, and we click on. Um, I don't see it. But let's see if we can find it here. Um, yeah, so right here, if we go to this company, this is a sample of Google My Business. It shows you on the map where you're located. It has your rating, it has directions, your phone number, your website, and so on. This is so key because when people are looking for a service, they type it in their phone. And what happens is Google is showing you the companies and the services that are closest to you. So then that map pulls up. You can simply press the map button and get directions to that company, or press the call button and call that company. So one of the things that people really don't do enough is Google My Business, because it's a great way to have kind of a snapshot of your business. And once again, Carl, this is free. So if somebody is calling you, asking for you to give them information or pay for a service from Google, it's a lie, because Google services are free. And if they are charging for those services, they're not going to call you and ask for that information. All right, and the last one I want to say is mobile. Uh, this right here is so important, and I'll tell you why it's so important. So a lot of your business is going to take place on a mobile phone. The days of people sitting in front of the computers are fading away. So social media, your email, your website, it's probably going to be seen on one of these. So saying all that, something you can do in your free time is type in your business name on your mobile phone and see what comes up. See how your website looks. See how fast it loads, because that's what your customers are seeing. So if you have a bad mobile experience, your customers are seeing that, and your customers are being turned away. So when you get a chance, like I said, put on your customer cap, get on your phone, type in your name, your company website, and see what comes up. Because once again, pretty much everything from your business, social media, email, video, it's going to be viewed on a mobile phone. So you want to make sure everything you're putting out looks good on a small device and a phone as well. All right, we got about 30 minutes left. I'm going to give you some more tips, but once again, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to type those in the chat box, and I'll do my best to answer all of those questions. All right. Um, so this is why it's so important to be found on Google. If your customers can't find you online, you are slowly dying. And I say that you could have your best quarter, your best month last year. But once again, if you have a poor digital presence, you are slowly dying and you don't even know it. Because once again, like Carl and other people said tonight, having their presence is key. And that's how customers are going to find you. So the days of the phone book are over. Um, I actually want to have a physical phone book here tonight, but it's getting really hard to find a phone book. I actually went to the thrift store to find a phone book, but you can't even find phone books anymore in the thrift store. So the new phone book, the new directory is Google. People are going to Google and typing in your business or your category and finding you that way. So, I think about also the phone book. You remember phone books? They were massive and they had thousands of pages in there. But the more listings, the more ads you had in that book, the better. So if you had one ad in the phone book, you had one chance in 20,000 of getting found. Okay. But if you've had 10 or 20 or 30, the chances of you found go up. That's the same about Google. Google, the more listings, the more pages you have, the chances of you getting found, the chances of your customers seeing you goes up. So once again, that's why you want to make sure that you're dominating the first page or two of Google. Why? Because that's more eyeballs on your business. And more eyeballs leads to more sales, leads to more money for your business. So saying that, I don't want you to fear digital marketing. And I think that's what keeps a lot of people back from embracing digital marketing. There's a fear about it because let's face it, it's pretty new. It's still changing all the time, and it can be scary. Like William said, people will call you scamming you for stuff, trying to. It's scary. It is, but it's the future. It's the way that your customers are choosing to interact. It's the tool your customers are using to choose what business to work with. So you have to embrace it, and it's not scary. Don't come at it that way. Think about I'm gonna use this thing to grow my business, and I gave a whole outline here about digital presence, but I don't want you to be overwhelmed. I'm not saying today you have to go redo your website, social media, video, email, all that. No, break off a chunk. Say for the next 2 to 3 months, I'm going to focus on building my website and making sure I have good copy on the website, good pictures, and so on. Great. And once I do that, then I'm going to focus on improving my social media. And once I do that, I'm going to start recording videos for social media and for YouTube. So when I say digital presence, break it up into chunks. And what I showed you for my digital presence, this was not built overnight. This took years of trying, years of getting listings on here to have this. This wasn't done overnight. But you want to start now. You want to be consistent. There's a reason you're seeing all of my videos here. Why? Because I recorded these videos. It took time to do that. But once again, you have to start now uh, building that presence because it's an investment. You may not see the full return now in the first month, 3 months, 6 months, but trust me, if you make the investments now in digital marketing, they're going to pay off both now and also in the future. Why? Because you're building that presence. Every time you create an account, you make a post online, it's being cataloged, it's being snapshotted, and that's the more chances somebody's going to have to find your business. So let's see. I have a comment here. Keon says, speaking of video, your camera and mic are high quality. What type of camera do you have? Yeah, so I use a Sony camera. It is a Sony 6400. It cost me about what $700. But once again, this camera quality is really nice, but I didn't start with this camera quality. My first camera quality was a little bit fuzzy. It wasn't nice. But what did I do? I started off making videos. on a simple webcam. And as I grew, as I got more clients, now I have this. So I didn't start off like this. So once again, you can build to that. But once again, this is a Sony A6400 camera. This is a Rode microphone. This is a Rode mini microphone. This was $100, so it's pretty affordable. But once again, over time, Keon, you can improve your video quality. You can improve your audio. The key part I want to stress to everybody is just start. Just get started, and then over time, you can improve your quality. You can improve how things look, but just get started. Uh, I have a comment here. Is there any way to take off a court case? Um, yes and no. That's a common question. People want to know if you can remove things from Google. Yes and no. Um, if you go to Google and you type in just simply how to remove search listings, there's actually a Google form where you can submit your URL and have it removed. Let me try to show you real quick. But once again, they only will remove a URL if it's wrong or out of date. So let me show you that. So it could be an old website, it could be a court case, anything. So go to Google and type in URL removal and scroll down to right here where it says Google removal tools. And if you click here, this could give you video, and also it's going to give you a link where you can submit the URL. And if it's fraudulent or it's not right, it's inaccurate, it's old, you can ask them to remove the URL. So you can ask them to do that. Now, there's services out there that charge for this. Those are kind of sketchy, but the best thing you can do to start off is try to see if you can just simply ask Google to remove that listing. Let's see. Keon has a question. Keon says, "What is the fastest way to move up the top of Google listings?" Yeah, good question. It really depends, and the fastest way to move to the top is to have a purpose. So, what does that mean? Get on top. So, you want to list high for your company name and your name as well. Because what you want to do is you want to match that listing with what people are searching for. So first, you want to take stock of what are you trying to list for. If you're a lawyer, fine, start having those keywords and terms in your website. But I always say this with Google: don't be broad, because people don't search broad things. People go to Google knowing what they want. So if I'm a lawyer, they're not gonna type in lawyer in Maryland. They're typing in lawyer in Maryland that specializes in auto accidents, hit by a truck, whatever. So I always say to get more traction on Google, try to be more focused. So really drill down to what you do. Think about what people are searching for when they think about your company. That's a really good way to rank on Google as well. Also, having a site, having a page on Facebook is going to rank high. Having one on Twitter is going to rank high. Being on LinkedIn is going to rank high. Being on YouTube, which is owned by Google, which is also the number 2 search engine, is really good way. So get on Facebook, get on LinkedIn, get on Twitter, get on YouTube. Try to create the most amount of listings possible. But once again, you want to be very targeted, because if you're trying to get listed for a very competitive category, you're probably not going to get shown. But think about what makes you special online. Think about the terms and phrases people type in online to find your company or your service, and make sure those phrases and make sure it's information about those phrases and those searches on your website or on your social media accounts as well. All right, so let's move on here. I got about 20 minutes. So digital marketing is the most affordable, effective, targeted, and trackable tool to market your business. Once again, digital marketing is a tool. That's why don't be scared of it. Tools, what? Tools help us do something. So digital marketing is the most affordable, effective, targeted, and trackable way to market your business. Now what do I mean by that? So first one, affordable. Digital marketing is very affordable. When you compare it to TV, radio, print, it's very affordable. Running a 30-second commercial on a small AM station can run you 300 $400 per 30 seconds. But you can get on Google for free. A lot of these services I'm talking about tonight are free. Creating accounts are free. Yes, there's the cost for creating your website, but I mean, for little as a few $100 a month, you can have a nice presence that's being seen by the right people. So when it comes to costs, the barrier to entry is very low. The next thing is trackable. And the thing I love about digital marketing is you can track everything. You can see where things are going. You can see clicks. You can see views. And from seeing that, you can change things. So if you run an ad on TV, on the paper, you don't know who's seeing it, but online, you know who's seeing it. You can change it. The next thing is, I forgot what the next thing is. So let's go back and see. Effective. Digital marketing works. Digital marketing is the way that people are choosing what companies they work with. So it works. If you're on the fence, digital marketing, being on Google works. Embracing digital marketing, being found on Google is not going to hurt you. It's only going to help you be more competitive, make more sales, and be more competitive as well. So once again, there's no downside to digital marketing for your business. William has says, I am an electrical contractor. Is Facebook ads and Google ads worth my money? Yeah, William. Yes, it is. Facebook ads, I would say yes. For as little as a dollar, you can reach thousands of potential customers on Facebook. And Facebook is low cost, so I would definitely recommend that you use Facebook ads. Now, Google is different. Google is much pricier. I mean, Google, you could be paying $75, $80 per click when somebody clicks on your ad and goes to your website. So for you, I would focus on and Facebook and Instagram because they're the same company and start off small. Start off doing a budget of $5 per day. Target your customers, what areas they live in, what things they like, and see what you get. And over time, you can learn what works, what doesn't. You can adjust your campaign, but I would focus on Facebook ads because Google ads can get really expensive. They're not a bad way to go, but make sure that when you're using Google ads that you know exactly what you're doing because it can get pricey. Once again, Google ads is still a good way to go, but if you're starting off with a very small budget and you're doing any kind of digital marketing, be careful, whether that's on Facebook or Google. Be very careful. And like I said, make sure you are targeting your customer. You don't want to waste money targeting people that are not going to buy your service. Carl says, please explain Facebook boost and cost associated. Sure, Carl. So, Facebook boost is pretty much kind of like running ads on Facebook. And what you can do is you can click boost on a profile or a post. And what that means is that post will be seen by more people. That's it. And you can choose what people, what radius around the city or county see your ad. That's it. And Facebook posts that are boosts are very affordable. So you can say, okay, I want to run this ad for boost this post for 3 days, and I want to spend $10 per day. So boosting ads on Facebook is very affordable, and definitely I would try it. It's an easy way to get started doing digital marketing, digital advertising for your business. So it's a great question. All right, so let's get back to the presentation really quick. Got about 15 minutes to go, so I'm going to speed things up just a little bit. So I've already said this, but I'll say it again. The reason why you want to be found on Google because Google puts your business in front of customers when they're searching for products and businesses like yours. Once again, when people do a search on Google, they know what they're looking for. If you have the right phrases, terms, keywords on your website, people are going to see that listing and they may click on it. So, once again, Google puts your business in front of your customers. I can't explain it any simpler than that. If you want to get found by customers, use Google because Google is the number one search engine. Most people use Google, so most of your customers are Googling stuff. So if you come up high in Google, your customers are going to see you, and that's when that sale can happen. So you definitely want to make sure that you are being found on Google. Also, what does that mean? That means that you're going to get more clicks to your website and more calls to your business. And that's something we all want. We all want to get more clicks and calls. Why? Because clicks lead to sales and phone calls lead to sales. And one way to get more of those website clicks and phone calls is by being seen on Google. Okay, before I move on, Keon has a question. He says, I just get a lot of business from Facebook and Instagram. Now likes don't translate to business. Google has been amazing. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And that's the thing. Social media is always changing. I won't go too deep in it, but there's something called social media algorithms. And that's just how social media chooses to show certain things. So it's always changing. So if you did something and it worked, eventually it's not going to work. So you constantly have to be changing it up as well. But yeah, I do agree. Google Ads are great. It's a great way to target your customers. And the most important thing if you know what you're doing as well. But yeah, that's the thing. Social media always changes. So you definitely want to make sure that you're changing with that. And that's what I mean too. Social media, you don't own social media. At any time, Facebook or LinkedIn can change the way they show information. But the way to fight that off is by having a good website. Because once again, you own your website. There's anybody can do to take it down to change how it's shown. Once you have your website, the SEO, what's there is going to come up. So that's why it's also important, Keon. Yes, run those ads on Facebook, Instagram, run those ads on Google, but still back that up by having a nice website, by having links, because what you want is those ads and that those natural search to work together. So you're getting customers from both the paid search and also the organic search as well. So yeah, great comment. Okay. So I think it's a lot, but don't don't be Blockbuster. So if you remember, back in the '90s, Blockbuster was the king of the block. You know, they had. Let me get my prop first. But Blockbuster, they had stores everywhere. If you wanted a DVD or video, you went to Blockbuster. But something happened, and in the late '90s, this thing called the internet came around, and it changed everything, and it's still changing everything. And sadly, Blockbuster, being the big arrogant company, he said, "Oh, this internet thing is a fad. It's going to fade away." While people use something like Netflix, where they can come into a store and get their favorite tape or movie, but they were wrong, and Netflix was right. Netflix embraced technology, and I want your company to embrace technology because things are changing. And don't be Blockbuster. I want you to update. I want you to stay in contact with your customer. And like I said earlier, companies fail for a lot of reasons, but primarily they fail because of marketing. And Blockbuster made that mistake. Blockbuster ignored technology and ignored their customers. And from that, now they're out of business. So there are no um, Blockbusters left anymore. This is one Blockbuster that's in I don't know, somewhere up north, and I think it's more of a nostalgia type thing. It's just there. It's not a store, but once again, you can be the king, but if you stop relating, if you stop speaking to your customers, you're gonna go out of business. I don't care what field you're in. Things always change. If you don't update your game, you're gonna go out of business. So once again, and think about Blockbuster. Something is wrong with Blockbuster. They charge $5 a day for late fees. If you went there and the movie wasn't there, you had to drive around to try to find one. But Netflix came in and said, you know what? We're going to charge $5 a flat fee for DVDs. And guess what? There's no late fees. Keep them as long as you want to. And look where we're at now. Now we're talking about streaming wars. We're talking about streaming on Hulu, streaming on Netflix, Disney Plus. Netflix, they ushered in a new era. Why? Because they saw where things are going. They saw how the customer was changing. They changed with their customers, and Blockbuster did. So thank you, Carl. Carl says great illustration. Thank you, Carl. I tried. I'm glad you like that. So getting back to the slides here, we have about 10 minutes left. So let's make this count. So once again, like I said, don't ignore technology. Don't ignore Google. You need to be found on Google. If you want to stay in business, you have to be found on Google. You have to embrace digital marketing. So once again, don't ignore technology, because ignoring technology is ignoring your customers. Because your customers, they love technology. They love cell phones and apps and social media. So once again, you have to love what they love. Embrace what they're using, and what they're using by huge numbers is digital marketing and digital tools as well. So I said this earlier, but once again, be like Netflix. And when I say that is be that company that's cutting edge. Be that company that's looking forward. Don't settle for what you have today. You may be the market leader today. You may just have your best quarter. Fine. Be looking ahead, seeing what trends, may come. And then always find ways to update your resume. Don't stay the same. Good companies evolve over time. They evolve with their customers. The company that's gone to business, we can name them off. Montgomery Ward's, a Blockbuster, KB Toys, Toys R Us. These companies failed. They were all leaders once. Toys R Us failed because they looked past e-commerce. And guess what? Amazon came in and it destroyed Toys R Us. Why? Because Toys R Us had poor vision. They didn't see things coming. They didn't take advantage of digital commerce, e-commerce. So once again, don't be any of those companies. Think about your favorite company in your childhood. If they're gone, why? It's probably because they ignore technology and they ignore their customers. So don't be like those companies. Stay up to date with your customers. So we don't have time now, but when we're done, I want you to do a search for your business in Google, and do a search for three things. Type in your business name, type in your name, and type in your business category. So that category could be florist, lawyer, doctor, whatever it is. And when you type that in, I want you to see what comes up. Okay. And once again, that is what your customers are seeing. And when you do this as well, if you're using Chrome or Safari, try to do this on what is it called? Incognito browser, where that it clears your search history and everything. So you're not seeing your site. You go there every day. You're seeing what your customers see. And think about that. What are they saying? And if you see something you don't like, work on changing that, improving your website, improving your SEO, recording videos. Because once again, this is how you win or lose customers. The first step is when they do a Google search for your business name, your business, or your category. What are they seeing? So you want to make sure that that is a good experience that's going to drive them to do more business with your company. Okay, talking about dominating Google, we already talked about this, so I won't talk about it again. But once again, you want to make sure that you own that first page of Google, that people are seeing your company. So when they type in your name, they see you, and it's a impression that's a good impression that's make them gonna call you for service. So um, once again, we're coming up with the end here. I have about 5 minutes, so are there any questions about anything I said before I close out? Any questions about um, how you can improve your Google search? What you can do to get more customers online? Now is the time to ask those questions. So simply just type in your questions or your comments in the chat box. And also, if you enjoyed this webinar tonight, once again, hit that like button and let me know. Or simply just type in like into the comment box. Let me know if you like this, because this is something that we do all the time. We always are having trainings, at the U.S. Black Chambers. So if you like this, guess what? Next week we're having more trainings talking about digital marketing. So I definitely want you to be part of that. So if you're liking that, hit the like button and let me know, or type in like, and that works as well. So if there are no questions, I'm going to get ready to wrap up. Carl has a question. Carl says, "Is Facebook Messenger a part of digital marketing?" Yeah, it is. It's not quote unquote digital marketing, but it's a part of social media. So yes, it is marketing. And once again, Messenger. So many companies don't check the DMs. Customers come on social media to find companies. So check your DM, because if somebody sends you a question, you have to respond to that right away. If not, like I said, they're not waiting for you to reply. They're going back to Google search. They're going back to LinkedIn, Instagram first page, and finding another company. So yes, uh, Facebook Messenger just counts as digital marketing. How often should LinkedIn be updated? LinkedIn should be updated as needed. Anytime you have a new job, a new development, update that. And be sure to fill out your profile completely with your name, your picture, your bio, across social media. Fill out your profile completely. People need to know all they can know. But LinkedIn, I recommend posting at least 2 to 3 times per week. That can be an update, that can be a quote, a picture, something. But LinkedIn is a great place to do business. I do a lot of business there, but you definitely want to update your profile when things change. But be active. Get on there if you can daily and try to have conversations as well. Joy says, "I'm not tech savvy, trusting a new company to update and migrate my website. Can you provide pointers that you have in place?" Sure, Joyce. Quickly, you definitely make sure you're choosing the right company. I would say ask for a reference from them. And if you can, call that company, email them, find out how this company was. Did they do a good job? That's the first step. The next thing, you can Google this. Google migration checklist. You want to make sure that when you move your site, that they're not going to lose the information. You want to make sure that your email is not going to go down. Also, if you move your site, don't do it during business hours. Move your site overnight. That way, if there's any malfunction, any glitches, your customers don't see it and you don't lose business. So those are just some of the things. Once again, make sure they move it at night. Make sure they're copying the site before they move it, so you don't lose the information, and make sure that your email is intact, because sometimes when you move websites, the email server is disrupted. So make sure that your email is not going to go down. William says, "How much should you budget for digital marketing?" It really depends, William, on what you're trying to do. Obviously, a small company, I would say a few $100s a month, but it really depends on what you're trying to do. Um, and sometimes it's not really the cost of it. If you're running ads, that's different. But just being active in digital marketing, it is free in a sense, but you have to pay somebody to do it. So um, it really depends. I would say this really start small. And once again, before you try to attack everything, find one thing you want to improve: your website, social media, then build from there. Yeah, Joyce, no problem. Thank you. That you found this informative. Appreciate that. Carl says, "One of your presentations." So yeah, I present weekly with the U.S. Black Chambers every Thursday and Tuesday at 5 p.m. So be sure to join in. And on that note, let's get ready to wrap this up, Carl. And that's a great question that you just asked. So yeah, this webinar takes place every week as well. If you have any more questions, visit the website, the usblackchambers.org. On that site, we have a ton of information, trainings, and all webinars. And there you can sign up for more information as well. So there's a wealth of information. Also, I recommend getting on the US Black Chambers email list, because once again, there's all kind of resources, goodies, free prizes, events that you can be part of. So once again, I want to thank you for taking that time tonight. It was only an hour. We had to move quick, but I feel like we learned a lot. And once again, I would say for a Black owned business, we are already facing so many obstacles all across the board. But the one thing that we can control is our digital presence. So invest in your digital presence. Why? Because that is the way that companies are choosing what companies they want to do business with. So once again, please embrace digital marketing. Use digital marketing. It's the way you can reach more customers, you can make more money, and most importantly, be more competitive. And saying that, good night. Thank you again, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.